All right. Welcome to the 50 Days 50 Apps Challenge. And today I have a good one for you. So I'm on a quest of building 50 apps. Let me make sure my audio works. My audio works, yes. I'm on a quest of building 50 apps in 50 days. And today is day 5 of the challenge. And we have been able to achieve a lot so far. We've been able to build a productivity app called Bailey. We've been able to build a thumbnail generator, which I'm still working on, by the way. It's not perfect, but I just need to fine tune a few things. Okay. We have built a vlog post application that allows you to rumble and then it turns it into content for all platforms. Okay. All social media platforms. What else have we built? We have built NutriValue that basically takes a photo of your food, or you can upload a photo of your food, and um, it tells you how many calories is it, and also shows you the graph of your energy over time. Okay. And today I got a good one for you. Okay. If you are not new to this channel, you know we hate paying for services that we can build ourselves. Okay. And today I have a good one for you. I'm gonna attempt to clone Whisper Flow. Okay. If you're not familiar with Whisper Flow, Whisper Flow basically allows you to Okay. Whisper Flow basically allows you to talk, okay, and then it turns it into text in whatever input you are working with. And I've been using it for the past week, and it's been amazing. It's been great. But I cannot justify the price they are charging. Everybody wants a piece of the cake these days. And for simple things, okay, I get it in the back end, it uses services that gotta be paid for, but it still doesn't justify me paying 12. And that's just for the annual plan, by the way, 15 bucks a month. It doesn't justify. I cannot do it. I don't feel like doing it. Okay. So when I see tools like this, and I'm like, this is actually a very simple process, and it's actually very easy to build. Why don't I build it for myself? Okay, so I'm gonna build this, and I'm gonna put the GitHub repo out there if you want to install it and use it yourself. So how are we gonna do this? Let me just go to Notebook LM really quickly. And I was just doing a ton of research, and I love Notebook LM. It just allows you to build all types of digital products. Okay. Um, you know, uh, it allows you to build infographics. It allows you to understand things. It can do research. Like you can see here, it has pulled a lot from the web to be able to synthesize the information into what I'm about to show you right here. And I'm going to show you this image, which basically summarizes everything we are trying to build. So it summarizes the entire process for building a product like Whisperflow. Okay. So basically, you have a hotkey on your keyboard that you can press that summons the application. Okay. So in the case of Whisperflow, is the function button. You press it, you hold it down, and then it starts listening to what you got to say. And then what tends to happen is it runs it through some sort of what do you call it? It runs it through some sort of uh, um, an LLM transcription tool. Okay. And basically, what that does is it's processing your raw speech. It's transcribing it into text, okay, and then removing all of the filler words and all of the arms and the oohs and the words, okay, that do not need to be there. And then you then take that transcription from speech to text, okay, um, into an LLM, okay. Like you can see here, speech to text STT plus LLM. Okay, so you take that to maybe GPT-4 or mini, and then let that interpret that text. Okay, without changing too much, it just formats it. If it needs to be in a less format, it just understands the text and then does a lot with it. So by the end of it all, by the time it comes back to you, it's It's like you knew exactly what you were thinking, even though you probably weren't making any sense. Okay, so you could just ramble and then talk, and not make any sense. And then by the end of just rambling, everything makes sense in the text area. Okay, but it doesn't finish there. It takes it into a phase C, okay, where it copies it into a clipboard and then uses a shortcut on your keyboard to copy, Control C to copy, and then Control V to paste it into whatever uh, input container you have open. Okay, so if you come here to the, oh shoot, I'm not sharing my screen. Sorry, sorry guys. Um, so this is what I was trying to show you, okay? And this is basically from my research. Oh man, I feel like I messed up. I messed up there. I messed up the stream. I'm really sorry, guys. If you've been able to watch this to this point, I really appreciate you. But this was what I was trying to explain. Okay, so you have your hotkey that you can press, and then it summons the application, and then you speak. It listens, takes it through some sort of a speech to text. Okay, uh, filter or application or API, and then basically takes your rumbles and translates it into text and then passes it through some sort of an LLM to refine it, okay, and clean it up, remove all the arms, ums, all the filler words that do not need to be there, which I'm working on, by the way. I'm working on my filler words. So I realize I speak with a lot of filler words. And then so that would be some sort of like a GPT-4 or mini, okay? And right after it does that, it brings back the text, okay, and then it copies it to the clipboard, okay, using the keyboard or the shortcut keyboard control copy, and then control V to copy it into whatever input area is live or open. Okay, so if we come to the sprint planning here, okay, um, actually ignore this. If we come here to the right hand side right here, essential tech stack that we are going to be using, we're going to be using Electron, and I was contemplating whether to use Electron or Tauri. Tauri uses Rust under the hood, and it's just so much faster. It's just blazingly fast. Okay, so I like to implement my applications using Tauri. Now, what is Tauri? Tauri is like React Native. Okay, it uses the same React and JavaScript that allows you to build cross-platform. So you can build a Mac application and also build a Windows application at the same time. It's like using React Native. You can build React and JavaScript and distribute it to Android and the App Store. Okay, so that is basically what Electron does, and the better version is Tauri, which is just much faster. But in this case, I think it's just going to be a relatively small application, so it shouldn't take too much. It shouldn't be too much. So Electron would work for us here. So, okay, and for the transcription, we're going to use Grok. Okay, we're going to use Grok for this. Um, and then for the refinement, we're going to use ChatGPT 4.0. Okay, so that is what we're going to build. And I'm going to fire up anti-gravity. I'm just going to open up a new window for anti-gravity. I use anti-gravity for building out my applications. It's just so much better. And it just says restart to update. I'm just going to restart to update it. And I have I have Cloud Code connected to my notebook LM, and no notebook my notebook LM is just my knowledge base where I do research. Okay, it pulls a lot of resources. It built me this MVP, which I'm about to feed into Claude, by the way, to come out an implementation plan. Um, so now, okay, let's fire up anti-gravity. It seemed like it just went away. Okay. Okay, so we have anti-gravity app. Okay, so okay, so we have anti-gravity app, and the first thing I would do is to create a folder. Okay, that wasn't what I meant to do. All right, let's open a new window. Okay, let me increase this a little bit for you guys to see. I'm just going to open up a new window, go to my documents. Okay, go to development, and I'm going to create a new folder. And what are we going to call this? Uh, what are we going to call this, guys? I'm confused. What are Whisper Flow? Uh, just talk. Maybe just talk. Okay, let's call this just talk. We can always change the name later, but okay. I'm just gonna go to the terminal and just fire up the terminal and open up Claude. Okay, and I'm just gonna ask it: are we notebook? I think I'm already connected, but okay. All right. So when it comes to when it comes to MCP, book LM MCP, I'm using this guy right here. Okay. So the first thing it asks is to use Claude to add okay, to add it. So I'm just gonna do that. And it's just gonna add okay. Okay. You need to restart this Claude code session for the new MCP tool to become available. Okay. So I'm gonna exit, close this terminal. Okay. And the next step to do is to log in. Okay, so using this command, it's going to open up the browser to the login. Okay, so I'm going to say yes, and it's just going to open up Chrome to log in really quick. So I'm just going to log in on the side. Okay. Okay. And I'm logged in. It should. Okay, so success true. It was able to log in. Okay, see all available. Okay, so these are the commands list. Let's try that. Okay, so it's saying it's currently empty, but It's not. Um, like we just witnessed. So one thing it recommends is coming here. I hope this gets easier. Copying this link and then pasting it, and it's gonna have access to that particular um okay. Okay. Yes. Oh, I meant to say yes. Okay, so let's ask you what the main features of the application is. Yeah, and this is taking a bit of time, but what we are essentially building is Whisper Flow. I love using the tool. It just allows you to talk and then it transcribes it. Okay. Before that, you can use your mic to talk, but it's just raw from your mouth to the keyboard. And when you do that, it's difficult for whatever input you're entering for it to understand what you're trying to say. But the way, okay, 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 high speed cloud transcription, okay, sends audio to accelerate API, yes, target, okay, okay, that is true, okay, yes, 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 that looks good to me. So, what is the tech stack? Yeah, and from here, it just asks, questions that we can just, questions just that we can just answer and just let it do its thing. But the only thing I don't like is the hotkey, Command Shift Space. No, I just want one key pressed. Okay, so that is something I'm gonna fix. If it tries to use some sort of a combination of different keys, just to just to activate the. All right. So Electron, React TypeScript, yes. Talent Tailwind, yes. Text to speech, we're gonna use Grok. Okay. Refinement, GPT-4o, yes. Okay. 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 So this looks good. Let's start building this. Okay. So like I was saying, guys, I like this new workflow. Just connecting your cloud code via an MCP with Notebook LM. Okay, this just makes things so much easier. Before I would go to Google Gemini, and I feel like Google Gemini is just better um, when it comes to uh, research anyway. Okay, so before, okay, let's just go with NPM Electron V. Yes, that will make our application even much faster. So I don't have them both ready. Submit answers. Okay. So, like I was saying, I feel like Gemini, Google Gemini is just much better when it comes to research. It's able to do so much deep dive into the web to find the answers you're looking for the questions that you ask, and for the research you're trying to compile. Okay. And I've more and more been moving to Notebook LM, just for the simple fact that you are able to create digital assets. Okay, like this one right here, that explains everything and synthesizes everything into one sheet of paper, okay, that you can just glance to and just pick up information easily. Okay, um you know like like you can see here. Okay, so it just makes things so much easier, and you can generate all types of stuff too. Okay, you can generate audio, um you can even generate video overview. Okay, you can generate slide decks. Okay, you can generate quizzes, flashcards, reports to help you understand the topic better. Okay, so let's just review what Claude Code came up with. Okay, that looks good. Main processor responsibility register global. No, we don't want to use this. Okay, we don't want to use command shift space. That just provides too much friction. Manage system tray icon. Handle recording state. Manage system tray icon. Okay. Okay. Recording indicator overlay. I like this. API calls to Grok. Yes. 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 So this is how you can turn your research into an app, guys. First, just go to Notebook LM, do your research, ask it the questions, you know, um, and then connect it via MCP to Cloud Code. Okay, and let it take it from there. Okay. Okay. So this is how we obtain. Um, so I'm just gonna open these to the side. Okay. Okay. So we can tell what to change. Please use the function or FN key as hotkey instead. And and then whilst it's building a scaffolding, I'm just gonna go to Grok and just set up the API keys. Okay. And what were the steps? Sign in, create API key. So if you sign into Grok, Um, let's see. Okay, great for anyone that guys. I'll share what I'm looking at. Okay, so I'm trying to contemplate what to. So the free plan, you build and test on Grok, community support, but you can upgrade. And this one, no charge to the build for tokens, and then it builds as you go, higher token limits. Okay, so these are the options, but I'm going to I'm going to use a free version for now, just for testing. And what we can do is we can go right here to API keys, okay? And over here, we can create a new API key, okay? And I'm just going to create one on the side because I don't want someone stealing my API key. So you just have to name it, no expiration, and then submit, and it's going to generate an API key. Um, and we are going to need that later. Okay, so it came out with a new plan. Okay, and auto accept edits. Let's go. And then I'm going to do the same for OpenAI as well. Okay, so if you come here to OpenAI, okay, and go to dashboard, okay, you can go to API keys, and then you can create a new API key. Okay, so that's what I'm doing on the side, so I don't accidentally reveal my keys or anything. All right, so okay, so if you are just joining the live now, we are building a text to speech application. Okay, it's like Whisper Flow that sits on your desktop, and anytime you don't want to type, you want to talk instead. Um, most most of the built-in. So what makes it different is the built-in mic, or you know that mic on your even on your text messages. Um, that you can press to talk to is just taking raw speech from your mouth into into the input field. So it's gonna be raw, okay. And sometimes when you do that, it's difficult for the underlying application to properly translate what you were trying to say. It doesn't auto correct. It doesn't correct or structure your speech or text properly. To make the underlying application understand exactly what you were trying to say. With this, it passes through a few other terms, okay, just to clean up the text a little bit. And if it needs to put it in a less form, it does all of that. So by the time, like, let's say if you're talking a cloud code, um, you want it to capture your speech, um, you wanted to capture your speech without filler words. You want to capture your speech in a coherent, different. It goes through some sort of refinement before it has the input component. So it comes out a lot better than your traditional just speak to the microphone and then it takes your raw speech and try to understand what you're trying to say. Okay, and transform it to text, which is what the iPhone does or any of your phone application. It does that. There's not do that there's it doesn't have that layer of refinement. Okay. Um, but Whisper Flow, what Whisper Flow does is a of refinement where you speak and then it goes through some different layers of refinement to clean up your language, remove all the filler words, okay, clean it up a bit, before it has the input component. Um, so they are much easier to use and they feel like magic when you're using them for the first time. They're like, oh, for the first time, there's something that understand what I'm trying to say. Okay. All right. I used to go to my notes app. All right. I used to go to my notes app. Okay. And just use what do you call it? That keyboard mic right there and just talk. Okay. And it's gonna do its best to translate it into speech, which isn't very bad, but it's not very accurate. Okay, maybe that is the next app we could build. Okay, we could build a better notes transcription application. Okay, that it's more like a notebook, but with speech. Okay, that goes through the same processes. Okay, so you can basically go talk to it, and it refines it. You know, in a way that is coherent. Okay, so maybe you can ramble, but what comes out at the end of it is a coherent speech. It's as if it's been refined. You know, maybe that's something we should build. We should build that in the next application. That is exactly what we're gonna build. We're gonna build a notes speech. What do you call it? A speech notebook. I don't even know what a speech notebook. Essentially, you just speak and then it transcribes it. It uses the same technology we're going to use today to transcribe your raw information. Okay, and it looks run npm. This type of process uh, into bars, and I can see an icon appear right here. Okay, is that it? Just talk. Yep, AI detection. Just talk. Okay, okay, okay. Okay, so it has built it, it has run it, it has realized everything is running smoothly. So get API keys, open the app, go to settings and enter the API keys. And it refused then. No, I use option space instead of function key because the function key is intercepted at a hardware level on the Mac OS and can be reliably option space. Okay. Okay. So I don't know what it means. Open the app and go to settings and enter the API keys. Okay. Okay. So we need to run the app and then we can go to the settings. Okay, so I'm just gonna fire up. Okay. Runs in the menu bar top left. You see a small tray icon, which is this one right here. And then we can go to settings, which is currently blank, by the way. So that means something is not right. Um, and then you can essentially enter. Okay, so it's completely blank. Okay, it's completely blank. I cannot even show you because I can move it. Okay. Look at it, guys. This is what we got. Um, let me expand this. Okay. We can go into the console. Okay. And we are already having some errors. So I'm just going to copy that and send it over to be processed by. Okay. Okay. All right. All right. Um, so if you are not new to with Electron is basically it's like React Native but for desktops. Okay, that allows you to build cross-platform applications. Okay, so you can build it for Mac, and it can bundle the same. It can bundle the same code. Okay, it can bundle the same code for So right now it looks good, but the UI is kind of clunky. Okay, so I'm just gonna. Yes, I can see it now, but the UI is clunky. Okay. So one thing we can do is to go into the settings and then set up the Grok API key and then OpenAI API key. Okay. So I'm not even sure if it installed Tailwind CSS or any of that, because it doesn't look like there is any CSS at all. So okay, so it looks like it's using Tailwind. I can see Tailwind code, but what was the issue? Okay. All right. And look at that, looking much, much cleaner. But it got rid of. And allow. Okay. But there is no settings to go to settings and add API keys. Okay. So it did a great job, but it removed it removed the settings. Okay. So we now have this. Okay. I'm just gonna kill it. Ah, I see. Okay. but the UI doesn't look great. Can you fix it? Okay. Yes, kill it and let it polish it a bit, make it look great, And the light and dark mode do not match properly. Um, okay. Okay. If you join him, if you have any questions, leave them. Okay. Just run the application. And the UI still sucks, guys. Let's see. Okay. The UI still sucks, and I'm unable to go to settings to add API keys. Okay. Um, oh man. Clockwood is still struggling with styles. I can't believe it. I think it's just because it's Electron. It might have a hard time navigating when it comes to Electron. Um, okay. Much, much better. Much better. I'm not able to move this. Okay, so it's much better, but I'm unable to move this. Oh, I'm not able to move the window, so I cannot show you guys what I'm seeing, which shows up in the other window or the other screen, by the way. So I'm just gonna let it fix it. But the UI looks way better, way, way, way better. Okay, so it's ready. opens up. Look at it, guys. Okay, we can go into the settings and we can paste. Okay, look at it, guys. I can paste my Grok API key. I can also obtain my OpenAI API key, and I'm just going to create a new one. And paste that here. And I'm unable to scroll. Hello. Okay. But I'm unable to scroll to save. Okay. So I'm unable to scroll, but I'm able to record. Option space, and I'm able to record. Okay, so it's able to listen to what I'm saying. And when I release, it still holds. Nothing happens. Okay, let's kill it. Okay. Okay. So I can paste my keys, save, and if we go back, okay, option space to start speaking. Okay, that is a bug. Okay, when I release the keys, it's still listening. It should stop and process. And can I change? And I want to see if I can change the hotkeys and settings. Okay. So it needs accessibility. So I should what, go to privacy. Okay. System settings, privacy and security. Okay. Accessibility. Okay. And then let's try running it. Hey, can you hear what I'm saying? I should be, it should, okay. Running, processing. Okay. I need you to listen to what I'm trying to tell you right now. Listen to me. Listen to me. Release, done. Okay. So it looks like, okay. So it is working. Um, it's working, but we need a different key combinations for sure. And can we have the ability to change keys? And why can't we use the function key? Again, it makes things simpler. Okay. So if you just join in, okay, we are building Whisper Flow clone. And essentially, um, I don't want to pay for Whisper Flow. 15 bucks a month just to, you know, press the hot key and then talk and then let it transcribe when I can build the exact same thing. Okay. So I'm building the exact same thing, and it's a desktop application that sits on the desktop. And anytime I need a summon, I press a hot key and then I speak. And then there's a whole process happening in the back. And just like Whisper Flow does, it goes through some sort of speech to text transcription that takes your raw speech and transcribes it into text and then runs it through some sort of LLM to format to remove the arms, the M's, and the filler words and makes it a little bit more coherent. Okay. And paste it into whatever text input you have open. And that's simply how it works. Okay. So your traditional mic icon that comes with Macs, okay, on the iPhone, you can see it everywhere. If you go to your text messages, you can see, or when you open up the keyboard, you can see the mic icon. And let me see, I think there's even a mic icon on the Mac keyboard. Okay, yeah, there is a mic icon on the Apple keyboard. I can press it and then just talk, but nothing happens. Um, okay, um, but nothing happens. But on your iPhone, you can basically press on it and then it will take you speech. And then, but what it's basically doing is it's just taking your speech and then just dumping it into whatever the input field is. It doesn't refine or anything. So if you have made a lot of mistakes or if your rambles are not coherent, whatever the application you pasted it into isn't going to understand a 10 of what you said. Okay. So, um, hey, Soccer Dad, I'll answer your question in a second. So the way and your question is how are you processing the voice. So I'll show you the diagram really quickly, um, which is basically from this research I did before I started building this application. And basically, if I will answer your question correctly, um, so you press a hotkey, it takes your raw audio, okay, and then passes it through some sort of a speech to text, uh, speech to text, which I'm using Grok Whisper here, which is 300 times faster, by the way. And it basically takes it. You have to get your API key, which which allows. Oh, and there's an error here, which allows you to be able to do, which basically you need Grok's API key and you plug it in, it communicates with your APIs, it takes your raw audio, transcribes it into speech or into text, and then it passes it through GPT-4 or Mini for refinement. So it basically looks at your raw audio, removes the arms, the filler words, okay, and then cleans it up a little bit and sends it back, okay, through the API. So by the time it hits your computer, it's refined. And then if you have any text input open, it would just use the copy Control V, Control C, and then Control V commands to copy it to the clipboard, and then Control V to paste it onto whatever input you you basically have set up. So this is what it looks like at the moment. Okay. And it has reset everything. That means I have to re-enter my API keys again. But it's refusing to use a function key, and I just want to use one key hotkey, which is what Whisper Flows that uses. It uses just one function key. You press it, makes it so much easier. But for some reason, Cloud Code is insistent. I think it has to do with something to do with Apple's, just the way Apple works. I might need maybe some sort of the different permission to use just one key, but it's forcing me to use a combination of keys, which makes it easy to forget. What makes Whisper Flow easy to use is you just remember one key to use, you press it, and then you just start talking, and it's able to work flawlessly, which removes all of the friction. Um, so here is what it looks like. I need to re-import. So it's saying right option is the combination key. I can also use F5. I can also use the caps lock. Okay. Um, right command. Um, I'm gonna try the caps lock for now, and I'm just gonna input the API key. So you need a Grok API key. You also need an Open AI API key, um, and then save, and it's saved. Um, so I can just press the caps command and just start speaking, and it should just take my speech and then do its thing, process it in the background, and then boom, and then look at it. Uh, I mean, it didn't get it completely correct. It said President Caps, but this is where you can refine. You can refine the prompts. You can go in there and refine the prompts a bit. Um, I don't like the caps lock key at all. Let's see, F5, F1. Um, let's see, let's see. Let me delete. Oh man, let me delete this quickly. Can we have some more key options, like the function key or F1, or even the microphone key? Okay, actually, the microphone key is the F5 key, which makes sense. Um, and then enter. So I'm going to release this on GitHub. You can download it on your computer and use this instead. But I don't like the state it is at right now. I like to polish it just a little bit. Um, I like to polish it just a little bit. So it's, so you can basically download it from GitHub, install it on your computer, import, what do you call it? Import your own API keys. I'm going to add a detailed README description so you can basically do the same thing and have it. Okay, so it has given us a lot more options here. F1, okay, okay, okay. So let's run this again. And here it is. Everything is still intact. I can essentially change F1 for Mike so I can, oh, okay. I'll use the F1, no problem. So essentially, the way it works is I just press F1 and then just start speaking and just give my commands and whatever input the cursor, whatever input box the cursor is focused on is where it's going to copy, uh, paste eventually after it's done processing in the background. And then we just wait a few seconds or minutes and nothing happens. Okay. So it doesn't look like that key is. Let's try F2. Oh, F1. I think F5 makes the most sense actually. Let's see. F5. Nothing happens. Okay. Do you want to enable dictation? So F5, nothing happens. Hold F5 to record, nothing happens. F5 to record, nothing happens. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Should we go back to caps lock? Right arrow, left option, right option. Um, Caps lock worked best. Let me try that again. Okay, so that is working. So some keys are just not being allowed at all. Um, so I'm just gonna put this to the side, and then okay. So it seems some keys are not just working at all. I'm just gonna work on this, and then release, and look at this, guys. It looks amazing. I love this. Um, but let me ask it something. Let me ask you something real. So in Whisper Flow, you're able to use a function key. Is there any way we can use something similar? The caps key looks intuitive, but I don't like how it toggles the caps on and off. Can we also use option instead, if that is possible, or even maybe command, or maybe yeah. Let's see. All right, enter. Yeah, and the way we what we use to build this UI is using Electron, by the way. Electron is basically like your React Native, but for Mac. Um, I prefer Tauri. Tauri uses Rust behind the scenes and it's just much faster than Electron. The bundle size is just smaller and it's just more efficient. But to, I feel like using Tauri with AI is probably not the best, and you it probably comes with some forms of complexity. I haven't tried it. I've built Tauri apps in the past before, and I know it comes with some level of complexity. But Electron uses JavaScript, so it makes it easy. It already knows JavaScript, TypeScript, code base, so it's able to basically work faster. So now it's providing us the option key. Okay, it's providing the option key, but the option key isn't working. Control. Let's see. Control. That's control. Okay, control works. Okay, I could work with that. I could work with control. So control key works. I could work with control. Um, so we are basically using Electron for the front end. When I was doing research, it suggested using Python, but we didn't use Python at all. I'm going to release this on GitHub. If you're interested, you can just actually let me do that right now. Um, let me do that right now. Let me just tell Cloud Code. Um, can you build this application? And I want to push it to GitHub as a public repo that I can share. Okay. Some additions I'll also make is in Whisper Flow, okay, it always has this small icon right here. If I open Whisper Flow really quickly, it always has this option right here at the bottom, like you see right here, okay? Um, and then it activates once you hit the hotkey, and then the waves starts jumping once you start speaking, just to give you an indication of what is going on. That is an addition I would add to this application, just to have this icon right here, something intuitive that when I hit the hotkey, I just know it's activated and it's listening. And I also can also just get to it really quickly. Right now, oh, it doesn't even have the menu bar. Okay, so it looks like we closed it, but all we have is the status bar icon. But we can also add this feature right here. So I'm going into this. I think that will make it even 10 times better. Yeah, I'm going to put this on GitHub. You can download it. All you need is to do is to, I also add a detailed README. All you need to do is to get Grok API key, and it's easy. You just have to go to Grok API, Grok console.grok.com. You can create your API key, and it's free. You don't even have to enter your credit card or anything. Just go to API keys, and you should be able to create an API key. The next thing you need is an OpenAI API key. And if you go to platform.openai and go to the dashboard, and then go to API keys, you should be able to create one. And that is all you need. And once you get those, essentially you can start the application. Okay, once you clone it and then start the application, all you need to do is to run npm dev, come to settings, plug in your API keys, save, and then back, and then you're gonna get this little icon right here on the status bar, and yeah, it's just running in the background. So anytime you want to speak to it, you just hold down the control key. You might also need to go into the settings and um, give permission and accessibility on accessing the keys on your keyboard before it fully works. So you go to settings and privacy and security, and then just come and actually ask to give anti-gravity. I don't know why I asked to give anti-gravity accessibility permission, but that is the name it gave it, I guess. And you just have to toggle that on so that the hotkey works, but it doesn't know what to do when you release the key. And you need to toggle this on so it knows when you release a key. So I'm going to bake this into the README as well. Um, so I'm probably going to say, come up with a detailed README on how to run this application. And it looks like it may have already done this. And look at how fast it is. Like when you talk, the processing and everything, and how fast it is to get back. And that is the reason why I used Grok here. When I was doing the research, it said specifically use Grok Whisper. It's just so much 300 times faster and just the processing. compared to, you can also use OpenAI Whisper as well, which basically does the same thing. It takes raw audio and then transcribes it into speech. It's called speech to text. Okay, so it's able to take an audio and then transcribes it into text. So you can use OpenAI's Whisper as well, but it's much slower API compared to Grok's. Um, so this is the README. Okay, so it looks like it already did that already. I don't need to do any of that. Let's see. Okay, so it did. My GitHub is already connected, so it looks like it's running. Um, it might have encountered some errors. It might have encountered some errors. Okay, so it should push that to GitHub in a second and just tell me. And I'm just gonna post. If you have any questions, just pop it in the in the chat. But I don't even need to tell it to there, you know. So yeah, push to text the features, how to install it. Okay, you get the Grok API. It gives you the URL to get there. Yep, exactly what I was. Yep, yep, yep. And then you clone it, okay, and then run these in your terminal, and that's it. That's it. That's it, guys. That's it. Thanks for joining the stream. I was really excited to come do this, and what motivated me to do this in the first place was I've been using Whisper, and it's amazing. I know it's just a simple small tool. You can use the microphone on your phone, by the way, to do the exact same thing, but when you start using stuff like Whisper, it feels like, damn, like this is the first time an audio text to speak, audio to speech feels so intuitive because it understands exactly, you just said. It's able to transcribe it much better. Okay, and then it removes even the filler words. So it's like, whoa, this is great. And then you start using, and they give you a free version for like a week, and I ran out really quickly, and now it's asking me to upgrade. Um, and I don't want to pay $15 a month just for this. So I went out there and researched the technology they were using in the background. And I realized, oh, shoot, it's actually easy to put together. So I was like, let me hop on live and build this live. So you can go back, rewatch this video. Um, and basically do the exact same thing. Or you can skip the steps. Just go to my GitHub repo, download it, and start using that instead. Modify it how you want to. Like I'm gonna modify mine to look. I'm gonna actually not just mine. I'll update the code, but I'm gonna modify it to have all this intuitive, effects and stuff like that. If I activate See, it's asking me to upgrade. But what happens is when you activate a hotkey, the waves start jumping up and down, and it's like, oh, this is like really, really cool to use. Um, and I want to have the same effect as well, so I'm gonna do the exact same thing. Yeah. So this is it. This is it, guys. Uh, Shout out to Soccer Dad. Thanks for joining the stream. Hit the like button, guys. Hit the like button. Do me a favor. Hit the like button. Okay. So it looks like it hasn't been pushed to GitHub yet. Um, but it's gonna push it to GitHub, and I'm gonna have it available. Go check it out. Try it. Let me know what you think. Update it. Even work with it. Okay, update it how you want it to look. Let's make this even 10 times better. I want to. One thing I was whilst I was building, I was just thinking, oh, this is really cool. We don't have a native like notes app because I don't like to type my notes. I like to speak, and I usually use the Apple Notes. And I know Whisper has a mobile version. So one thing I was thinking was to build a mobile version of this that just stays on the iPhone that I can talk to create notes. I use the Apple Notes and I use the mic, and that one is just direct speech to transcript. So it doesn't format the text or remove all the filler words. It just dumps all your ramble and doesn't sound cohesive or anything. Okay. Um, with this layer and processing, you're able to ramble whatever your idea is, and it's just going to structure in a way that makes sense for you to reference later. So maybe something like a mobile application or a note-taking app, that you can ramble to, that would organize your thoughts properly, structure them properly, that you can always come back to, refine, use them somewhere else. I like to do this because I like to, when I have an idea in my head, and like I'm I I'm on social media, I'm working on my social media, you say, whenever I have an idea, I'm like, oh, this would be a good idea, and I just want to write it down somewhere. And maybe you're driving or you're in the middle of something, you cannot text. You just pick up your phone. I usually pick up the notes app and then just start rambling, and it doesn't come out the best. And then you take that ramble, you take it to Claude, and then ask it to clean it for you. And sometimes it doesn't even understand exactly what you were trying to say there. Um, so this is much more useful because it goes through several layers of refinement before uh, getting back to you. And I like how it also uses the native control, copying the output that gets board, and then paste it into whatever input you have open, and it just works in the background quietly. And you can integrate this into so many applications. Like you can basically turn your computer into something you talk to instead of type. Essentially, the keyboard is going to become obsolete. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Um, okay, so it's pushing it to GitHub now. Um, and the README is already good. Just send this command. So whatever, push it to GitHub. Actually, let me go to GitHub. Usually to tell you exactly where on GitHub. Yeah, so that is basically the future of computing, essentially. Very soon, I don't want to type anymore. And for the longest time, I didn't want to talk because I was like, because it's not the best experience talking. Um, it's not the best. It's not the best experience talking. So I'd rather use the keyboard. But now it's getting so much better, and it's got better because you can literally just talk and then see your speech translated. Um, okay, so we can go to, okay, we can go, okay, so what happened? Is it saying create a new repository? I thought I already did that. Um, so create a new repository, name it just talk. Okay, so Claude is being lazy here. Usually to just create a new repository, do all of this. Um, okay, Claude is being lazy. So I'm just gonna do it manually. Just talk. I'm gonna make this public. Okay, that's good. That's good. Saying repository creation failed. Why? Okay, there we go. Um, and then the next step is to um. Okay, I'm just gonna copy this, and then let it just follow the next step. It's gonna push it. Um. Oh man. I had no idea how to go through these whole steps. Let me see. Okay, I don't see. Yo, you're welcome. Sorry for that. Um, okay, okay. There's no code being provided to me. Oh man. No code. How can I resend this? All right, I'm gonna end the stream here, guys. I'm gonna push it to GitHub. Once I figure this out, and I'll post a link in the description. Okay. But like I was saying, maybe next time we build a mobile version of this, and basically turn this into a note-taking application that you can, ramble to and let it organize your thoughts. And um, we already built an application like this in the first episode. It's called Vlog Post. You just ramble, but it's a video version. You just go ramble, and I'm putting it in the app store. I'm still waiting for it to get reviewed and approved, and it's going to become a real product. That it's going to become a real product. I want to see how it does. I'm going to take all the lessons and I'm going to share them here. Um, However it does, I'm going to share them here. I'm going to try all types of stuff to advertise. The big thing when it comes to building applications is the marketing. Like AI has made building applications so much easier. That it has even made marketing so much more important. So it's not just about building up the application; it's about marketing it. It's about marketing the application. You know, and it's tough. It's tough to market. Marketing is tough. But I'm gonna try everything I know about marketing at this point and see how it does. I'm gonna try ads, Facebook ads. I'm gonna try to basically push it in the eyes of people that might find it useful. Is basically what you're trying to do. And there are ways to do that. You can start creating videos and in the hopes that they may not necessarily go viral, but you're hoping it gets into the eyeballs of people that will find your application useful. But the shortcut to do that as well is to pay for ads, and are basically paying Instagram, telling it to take your product or your marketing material and put in the eyes of people that would find. And Instagram knows, Facebook Meta knows, okay, it knows exactly who your audience are. So that is the shortcut essentially. Um, you know. So okay, so the repo is live. Actually, it's not live. Actually, it's not live. I just need to sign in, but it's not giving me the code on the desktop on the mobile application. So I'm gonna figure this out and push it. So this is it, guys. I really gotta run. So tomorrow we are taking this a step further. We're making this a mobile application, and we're gonna turn this into a notes application. Um, and yeah, and then take it from there. I'll post the GitHub link. Go and check it out, clone it. Yo, suck it up. Take it easy, man. Thanks for joining the live. Okay, talk soon. Bye, guys.